save the world rhetoric that you referenced. And who are you saving, right, in that scenario? And why do they need saving, and what form of saving? And there was just sort of all of these scripts that I'd heard my whole life, and I'd glommed onto because I was an altruistic person who thought, yeah, I want to live a life of meaning. And yet they were so problematic. And so I think as I left college, I became very disillusioned with a lot of what I'd heard, both about the world at large, but also about my role in it, sort of questioning, who am I to save anyone, and what is that all about? So it pushed me to think more deeply about rebelling against scripts, and that's on the intellectual level, but also rebelling emotionally. One of the things I feel like my parents really entrusted me with was this idea that you should trust your own outrage. And so there have been so many, all of like the most important moments in my life have been moments when I was outraged about something and it felt like everybody else is kind of going, oh, it's all right, it's not a big deal. And sort of being able to honor that anger, to me, is one of the most important muscles of a rebel, is using your own kind of emotional life, valuing it, and using it to sort of push you to do things in the world that feel truly important, as opposed to the script you're hearing of what's important.
You know, you've written about your generation. You said that we are the most wanted, educated, diverse generation in history and the most conscious of complexity. And that one of the things you came to understand also as you became a journalist is that doing social justice entails a huge psychological risk. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if you would explain what you mean by that, what you discovered there.
I think, you know, I've heard that phrase about the simplicity on the other side of complexity.
Yeah,
and
Oliver Wendell.
Yeah, and I have such deep respect for that idea. Like, that to me is what I crave more than anything. And I think part of why Parker's writing is so beautiful and has influenced me so much is he is such a genius at the simplicity on the other side of complexity. But that is hard-earned. And I think that's part of what I mean is, you know, there are really simple ways to be a just force in the world. And I think they are, you know, honoring the dignity of each human being you encounter, et cetera. But there's so many complexities also. And so it's about, like, if you're trying to create systemic change, you have to think about all those complexities. And you have to think about yourself humbly within those complexities. And that is exhausting. And in some ways, it's dangerous. Because when you really want to embrace complexity, it's very easy to feel like, well, then I should just stay home and mind my own business, because this is way too hard, and I'm gonna step in it, and I'm actually not gonna help people. And I've had moments in my life where I've felt that way, of just totally paralyzed. But there's such a powerlessness in that too. So I think there's something